What's
And
up,
it gets
buddy?
nicer every time I see it. Every time I see it, it gets nicer.
It's smooth, man.
But it's the
It's
same
so
video.
smooth.
It's the same video.
Doesn't matter.
For those of
Doesn't
you who
matter,
didn't
man.
see it, you can come to our YouTube channels and watch it. If you're
Yeah,
not, if you're not there now,
it just sounds like a cool little chime, I guess. So whatever, that's
that was
our
a great
sound, I guess.
collaboration.
Yeah,
Like that took us time to create right there.
it did, man. You did the video, I shortened it, and the image. What the image was that was the poured silver piece.
Yeah,
The
that's
Crucible.
what we use
Yeah.
for a thumbnail. That's what we use for a logo.
Oh, by the way, that 5-ounce piece, I'll show it to you. So
What do you
this
got?
piece right here, this is the 5-ounce piece of poured silver. This is the one that is from the main image, the logo for the Crucible. 5 ounces, 4/9 fine silver. That is a giveaway piece. So somebody's going to win that. And it could
How
be
does
you.
somebody win that?
It can't be you.
What do you got to do?
Pauly, but it's going to be somebody. All they have to do really is they just have to either go down in the description section and find the link to get on our mailing list, or they can just go straight to cruciblelive.com. And there'll be a pop-up that pops up. You just enter it. Enter your information. It's just an email. We're not going to sell it to anybody. It's just so that we can send you, updates on what we're doing, what the next show is going to be, what the last show was about, things like that. Some other cool things that we might throw in there. But to get into the giveaway, your email has to be in there.
Get into the giveaway. Go to the website. Put in your email information. We ain't selling your stuff. Get yourself entered, right?
And the website's cool too. Like we're putting pictures.
It is
up
actually
of,
pretty damn cool. Like I'm clicking on it just because I haven't changed anything on it. Like you handle that, and I go to it to see if you made any changes.
So I gotta say, and I'm not sponsored by the company that's doing it, but Squarespace, they're so easy to manage websites. It might be expensive. I don't even know because I didn't even really compare. I was just like, okay, I need a website. Let me just click on whatever shows up on Google. And Squarespace was the one that popped up. And it was so easy to set up the layout and everything. You move things around and add descriptions for search engine optimization. It was really neat. I liked it. Not sponsored by them yet. If you guys want to, please hit us up.
Yet. Keyword. I always like to add the yet. Always like to add the yet.
So how was your week,
I just
man?
Can't get myself company. The busy week, man. Busy week since the last time we spoke, and ups and downs, few more downs than ups, but we're living, right?
Man.
Crazy weather as usual. As I live here in Michigan, it's fall-like all week, rain, leaves are falling off the trees, changing colors, beautiful colors right now. It's just going to continue to get better. But next week, 80s all week.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the state I live in. It's 4 seasons year round.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So all year you get summer and winter. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, what's it say? It doesn't show me on the screen, but it's like 60 or 58 degrees right now, and like a nice north cool breeze coming in. Come on. And then next week, all 80s. All 80s. And I'll take that in October. Getting ready. Look at. Got a beard coming in because hunting season kicks off. Deer season in Michigan's kicking off October 1st, which is this Sunday.
Hey.
We're finally able to get back out and chase some whitetail. Typically, I wait until I can start seeing bucks and does kind of goofing around together. Nothing yet. It's still kind of early. And then with this warm spell coming in, deer might not be moving like they should, but I typically wait until I like to go around Halloween, and that's just what I've done. Even if I decide to go out, because I hunt with a crossbow.
Oh, no kidding.
They legalized them in Michigan. That used to be just for disabled hunters or disabled hunters or people in Well, they want more hunters in the field, and I would have stuck with a compound bow, but this one time I was out hunting, it's dark out and there's deer all over me. So you always carry something in your pocket so the deer can't pin you down while you're trying to get out of your tree stand, right? So I'm chucking stuff out of my pockets just to kind of spook them. Well, now I'm letting my bow down on this string, hand over hand, and then I let it slide down my hand. Well, I let go of the wrong end and it fell to the ground. What I had set up is the bow would never touch the ground. It stopped short just for kind of that reason. But what I didn't think was when I clipped that little clip on my string that if I did ever drop it, it would strip the cam out. And it was an older bow. And I took it to the bow shop and he says, look, it's going to be cheaper for you just to buy a new bow. I said, no. I said, I'm not buying a new bow. So I got out of bow hunting. And years later, my brother had a crossbow. He was sick of it. And I got it from him for very, very cheap.
Very
and
nice,
it shoots
man.
like a dream. It slings. They call them bolts. They don't call them arrows. So it slings a bolt. I had a shot at a buck 50 yards last year. I didn't take it because I've never shot it at a living deer. Target, no problem. Very confident shooting at targets out to 50 yards. But I said, I'm not going to risk this first deer being that far and something happened to where I got to wound this thing and then I don't find it. So I'm waiting for a closer shot and later in the year. We'll see where it goes.
Right on, Daryl Dixon. Very cool.
But the beard's coming in nice.
So I got to ask you about the beard. How long is that going to grow out? How long do you take it?
Well, tradition in Michigan is you can shave your beard after you kill a buck, right? Depends on how cold it is, right? So during shotgun season, rifle season, which I'm in a zone in the thumb area of Michigan where we can't use rifles during deer season. Okay. Just it's a safety reason, right? There's so many people out in the fields. They shoot so far. We can only use shotguns or straight wall cartridge ammunition. So I use a 450. It's this right here. It's basically a 45 caliber bullet, but with a hell of a lot more gunpowder.
Right.
And I'm the reigning king of our deer camp for 2 years in a row. So that's November 15th that starts. If I shoot one, I really can't shave the beard until the end of season because I got to pose for pictures and sign autographs and all this good stuff. So it all depends. Years pass. As soon as I kill the buck, I'd shave it and then just let it grow back. But as we get older, it turns gray and it doesn't look so bad. And when your wife gives you that little twinkle because those gray hairs are shining in the lights when you're walking through, it's kind of nice to see once in a while.
All right. Yeah, see, it works for you, man. I, on the other hand, if I grow mine out, I can't get through airport security.
Oh, shoot.
That's how it goes, man. It's all in the last name, I guess.
Oh, man.
So I don't usually keep it pretty close, but yeah, man, the pepper's coming in, the salt and pepper.
It's coming it is. It is. And I look at it every day at work in the mirror. I'm thinking, man, where's all this gray coming from? Where's all this stuff coming from? And I never straight razor it either. It's been a long time since I put a razor in my face. I always just trim it down to like 0 with a beard trimmer or whatever. Yeah, so it's been a while since I clean cut it. What do you got there? You use one of them rolling razors?
I don't. No, I use just a Bic, man. Just a Bic the whole thing off. Yeah.
I probably used to. You probably don't get much rash.
One time I had skinned the top of my head off, man. And I do it in the shower. So like it'll be like a 25 minute shower. And I'm just in there taking everything off my face and my head.
Mirrors everywhere.
No mirrors, man. I'm doing it by touch. And so I went at the wrong angle. And I was like, ooh, that stings. And I could feel the water like stinging the top of my head. And I looked down and like there's blood all up in the bathtub. And
dude.
And I was like, oh man, I messed up.
And it's all nice and hot and head wounds bleed bad as it is. Anyways.
Oh, they bleed so bad, man.
It looks like a stuck pig or something.
Yeah. Anyways. So I gotta ask you, man, we were talking for just a moment offline before we hopped on, and you were mentioning something that hit the news recently, or at least there's buzz going on. What are you pointing at?
So that's what I'm pointing at is the buzz, man. So, but then you turned around and pointed out to me that, hey, this has been going on for quite a while and it's just becoming quote unquote popular again, I guess, because more and more people are going to precious metals. And
what is it?
So updated, I'm just going to read it. I won't show it, but you guys can look it up. Costco. Are you a member of Costco?
I am, man. We have a lot of mouths to feed and a deep freezer. So yeah, we buy in bulk and we load up.
Well, then you know they sell gold. Or don't you know they sell gold?
That I do. I do know that.
You do know that. All right.
I do know.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know that because I'm not a Costco member, so it's not even a thing to even think about Costco in the back of my mind. But when your uncle sends you a Facebook message and says, share this with all the gold bugs out there, this is something that we should probably talk about. So it's only online. You can't go into Costco and say, hey, where's all the gold bars? And they sell out very, very fast. You can look it up on the internet right now. Go in your search engine. Anybody out there, type in gold bars Costco. You're going to see a bunch of stuff pop up because it's becoming a crazy thing again. You and I spoke. You actually did a little research on it. A channel by the name of Silver Seeker actually talked about this over 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right.
It's not new.
So no. And I was telling you about another creator who had an idea, and I sent him this link today. I said, dude, your secret's out. So they're PAMP gold bars. If you know what a PAMP gold bar is out there listening, or a silver bar, I think I have one. This is a PAMP, but this is the lotus flower.
That's a nice one. Yeah, I see it.
So this is the Lady Fortuna, right? That's, right, like this, holding a pile of goodness. They're 1 ounce. They sell out very fast. Shipped to you, according to this site at the time, was about $1,900. And that's what's spot at right now. I know it's been dumping.
Yeah, I think it was at 1897, 1887 this morning. Let me check for you real quick.
Okay. And then while you're checking, I'm going to say, okay, your membership is anywhere from $60 to $120 a year. But if you have one in your area and you like to shop in bulk, it makes sense to have a Costco membership, right?
Mm-hmm. And I never recommend putting anything on your card, but if you get 4% cash back on a Costco card, 4% on a $2,000 purchase, that's not bad. So gold spot price is currently at $18.78. That's per
$18.78 on September 28th of 8. I call it 8:15 p.m. on Eastern time. So yeah, and $1,900 shipped to you. Well, it says just shy, allegedly just shy for this 24 karat gold 1 ounce bar. The bars, which again I said can only be ordered online, have been big for the company, says the Costco chief financial officer. They're in hot demand. They don't last long. So if you didn't know about it, you know about it now. And if you're looking to buy some really nice looking gold at a fair price, keep an eye on Costco's website.
I've got a did you know for you. And this might be why. Yeah, this might be why Costco delved into bullion. Did you know that you can actually buy precious metals on Walmart's app?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you know? I did know that. Who they are partnered with?
AppMax, right?
Hey, so you did know. All right. So for the listeners, AppMax is a major bullion retailer, online bullion retailer. They're so big that their headquarters is a former Federal Reserve building. So it's massive. It's a vault in and of itself. And so they partnered with Walmart to be able to distribute some of the items. Again, it is pricier than what you're going to find at Costco. So Costco's kind of an undercutting system. The other cool thing about Costco is they're so big that they can buy in bulk. No worries. They can get the stuff for cheap if they have a partnership with PAMP or whoever.
Exactly. And also, when you go to check out during that screen, when you're adding to your cart, it does say only 2 per member. Now, I don't know if that's for the life of your membership, or does it revamp after a year of having your membership? If you bought 2 in 2023, can you buy 2 more in 2024? I don't know that. It just specifically says 2 per member. I would say once you buy your 2, that's it, right? or no?
I would imagine it's 2 per member per day. At least that's what I would think, because if they're selling out, then you'd have to wait for the next reload anyways, or reload of inventory. And then once they get that again, why would they stop you from making another purchase? It's probably just to make sure everybody can dip into that one stockpile.
Gotcha.
That's my thought. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess we'll find out, right? Maybe we'll try to order 2.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be cool.
Got to be
Costco,
a member.
If you want to send us some, we can.
Yeah, I mean, if you want us to test them, like I can ping the piss out of them. You could throw them on a Sigma tester.
Sigma. Yep, we're good. So I'll
hand it through the camera, and then you just hold yours up, and here it is. Thanks.
That's right, man. I actually have something cool to talk about too, on the lines of precious metals. Before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the show, something really neat that popped up on my radar yesterday, maybe the day before. You're familiar with Comsco? It's the Korean mint. Actually, in my opinion, they are one of the leading, technology-wise, leading mints that exists. The product that they produce, or the products that they produce, put the U.S. mint to shame. They put a lot of other mints to shame, like the big government mints. But as an example, I brought today one of my favorite pieces from them. This is the Kilo St. Michael. If you're listening, if you're listening at home, this is a gigantic kilogram-sized shield.
I tell you what, that camera of yours was a great investment. I mean, that's coming through crystal clear. Here, let me do this quick. Let me.
We're gonna go full screen.
What are we doing?
So going full screen so the viewers.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and bring you up full screen here, but it's really.
You want me to try? Hold on. Here, remove yourself.
Yeah.
Remove yourself. There we go. All right, so check that out. That's the Kilo St. Michael slaying the devil, and this is it's incused on the back, so it's actually a stacker. Although I'd never recommend taking it out of the capsule and stacking them up on top of each other. The mintage on these is really small. I think for this one, this was like 333 or something like that. And there's several in the series. Pauly, you can come back. There's several in the series. So we got, let's switch us. There we go. So you got the first one was one of these. This is the second. I remember
those. I wanted a giant set for playing like croquet in, right? Like a yard set.
Oh yeah, to just stuff these in the ground. Yeah, that'd be cool. So they made them in several sizes, and this is leading to what I was trying to explain to you guys. So they have the Kilo, and then they came out with the 2 ounce, I think, came first. So the 2 ounce, nice little chunky guy. Again, really cool capsules that come with them. And for the first in the series, which again was this one, they actually dropped a 1/2 ounce piece, which is tiny, right? So what I'm announcing to you guys is that the St. Michael, this sucker, the gigantic one, they're coming out with the 1/2 ounce size. So little pocket piece or something that you want to, it's such a cool piece. If you know,
little baby serpent slayer.
Yeah, little baby demon slayer. So if you have family members or friends that maybe they're religious, they like that image of St. Michael slaying the dragon. I think it's a Catholic image. But if you're into that, it's really neat. But you don't want to give somebody a kilo, because that's you're talking that's about a $2,000 investment right there, because those pieces are expensive now. But the 2 ouncer, the 2 ounces run for about $80 now, $90. So the 1/2 ouncer, the 1/2 ouncer is a little bit closer to about 30. And that's probably what the retail price is going to be. So anyways, really cool piece. So I just wanted to throw that out there for the listeners to go look for it.
So that's coming soon.
Yeah. And if you want one, you got to go check with Sean D'Souza. Maybe we'll do a giveaway down the road. I've got a couple of them coming in, but I mentioned Sean D'Souza on one of my live streams before. He's actually, he's my dealer. He's my guy that I go to.
Dude, it might be a good idea to have him on here one day and shoot the stuff about what's what.
Yeah, he can, man. He would school me. That dude knows his stuff. But he's a big bullion dealer down in South Florida, but he deals internationally. Really, he goes all over the place, and man's connected to the teeth. So
I've dealt with him for a little while now. I know a lot of people that do, and I do recommend him quite a bit, whether it was on Instagram or Facebook as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to start stepping into YouTube at some point too.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see. You know,
man, that man don't ever sleep, does he?
He does not, man. His birthday was yesterday, and he was dropping deals all day long, man. It was crazy. That guy does not sleep. His wife helps him a lot too, so she's awesome.
Sure.
Good stuff. Sure. All right, so now to the real show. Now to the real talk, right? Pauly.
That's me. Pauly, what's up, man?
My buddy. I've come to realize that there's many layers to you. You're a multifaceted man, right? of the 21st century.
I don't know if we got enough time.
I don't know if we do either, man. We're already 20 minutes in, but we're gonna try, right? I got a few questions. I want to pick your brains a little bit, but I've come to realize that I don't really know you as well as I'd like to, and I think a lot of the viewers or a lot of the listeners probably don't know you that well either, and so they should get to know their hosts. So I want you to
definitely subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans. Man. That's good. How's it going, man? How many subs you got there?
No. It's actually in the negatives, and I owe them money.
They pay you to keep it on. That's right, man. All right, so Pauly, I want you to start off by giving me. This is going to be me interviewing you today, but I want to start off by giving me the PaulyBuck elevator pitch. What is it about you that makes you you?
What is it about me that makes me me? Okay, so are you talking here? On this platform? Are you talking?
I'm talking
outside this platform. Me on this platform. What makes me me on this platform is I always wanted to do this, be face to face, right? And watching Precious Metals channels with their fear of showing their identities, I said I have to do something different, right? I don't fear any man, right? I just don't. And that's the way I've been, and that's the way I'll always be. If somebody comes knocking at my door, you're going to find out, right?
That's right.
So that was step one. So I started just like anybody else, was hands and coins. And that's, if you're deciding to go out and make a channel, that's how you're going to start. If you're not afraid of being on camera, which it does take time, which a friend of ours, and I actually talked with him quite a bit, Silver Heist, has actually came out and started doing face-to-face content, which I'm proud of him for that. That's a big step. It's a huge step to make, because it ultimately it does help. It does help. They can put a face with the voice, I guess, is how it goes. But without getting into too much detail, there was some things that I saw in my own family that I didn't like, and that involved some watching the Precious Metals community here and digging themselves into a pit because of the Precious Metals community videos being published. They can say it all they want. They're not financial advisors. That's completely fine. But what you're doing to people and showing off your stuff and not being honest, and there's a lot of dishonest channels out there. The YouTube's huge. There's a lot of dishonest stuff going on. And to see someone in your own family have piles of this stuff piled up after 6, 8, a year, I meant months, 6, 8 months to a year, and then have to turn around and figure out how to sell it because it's not doing what their favorite YouTuber told them it was going to be doing. That's when I said, I've got to make something honest. I've got to at least try and show where things can be picked up at a different price rather than right here on YouTube. Now I get it. You've done it for Precious Metals auctions. You've done it with John DOA. You guys had a show. And people do the great shows. They're great shows. And people go there because they actually can save money. But then there's a whole nother side to it. And some of it is a lot of greed.
Yeah.
And that's where you can get yourself in trouble. If you're stacking precious metals, the best place to do it probably isn't on YouTube. Now, the thing with that is, if you're in California watching a YouTube channel out in New Jersey, you're going to save a lot of money because you're not paying taxes, right? And I understand that. But then that dopamine kicks in, right? When you get into an auction and now you found yourself in a mess because you just paid this much, and you open up a website and you could have paid this much, you could have saved yourself this much. So my whole thing, it's not really quite education as I want to say it, because I know I'm not a teacher, and no, I am not a financial advisor. I don't ever give any financial advice, so I never say I'm not a financial advisor. I don't feel the need to, and I'll never say it because it's just what it is. But I just wanted to show another outlet, show a face, and honesty is the best policy in my book. There's so many of these videos, and I do them now with these mining stock companies. I don't have to do those videos. I don't have to. They ask me. I do my background on them. If it's something I feel that I can share, regardless of the amount of money they pay me or not, it's what I do. But the difference is the comment section is turned on so you, the viewer, can tell me what you thought of it. If you call me a POS, that's fine. That's your right to do, because I published the video. I should at least give you the right to speak your words on that video. Right. And I really haven't had but maybe 2 bad comments. But you got some out there that just click the comments off, and this is the reason I'm doing it. They're paying me to do it.
Yeah, that's the freedom of speech, except when I say not to. That's that mentality.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I started, and where it was going to go, I couldn't tell you. I talked to my wife about it, talked to the kids. It's a lot of time in this studio, regardless of how long something takes, but it's a lot of time here away from family to do what we do when we produce content. It is. And it's not a complaint by me by any means. I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to continue to enjoy doing it until they shut me down or I just can't do it anymore physically, I guess. My plan here is to be here for quite a while.
All right, good. Me too, man. I guess that's a good working relationship right there. Oh, yeah. Aside from YouTube, or maybe we can come back to that later.
Yeah.
I want you to take me back to maybe your youth, or at some point when you were younger than you are today. Did you ever have any experience or a pivotal moment somewhere in your past that maybe shaped who you became, or maybe it was like a junction in your life and it took you down a different path that led you to where you are?
Well, I'm going to, and it's, and I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to do the best I can with it, because it's a touchy subject, but I do enjoy talking about it. I am an alcoholic, and 6 years in August. I probably shouldn't even be here talking with, I should either be locked up or dead in a ditch somewhere. Right. So it was bad, not to the point where I wasn't going to work or providing for my family, but what I wasn't providing for my family was a father figure, right? I grew up above a bar. My parents were business owners. They owned a bar, restaurant, bowling alley, all combined together. And I started drinking at a very, very young age, 13, 14 years old, on the pretty much regular, and I'm 40 today. So I gave it up at 34. So you do the math on that.
Yep.
I was never in trouble with the law with alcohol. It was I was a bad dad during that time. And I can't get that back, and all I can do is build from that. And I think I would do really well on a YouTube channel about alcoholism and telling my stories and all that stuff. But I just don't have the time. And I did this with the help of my family. I know AA is probably a good thing. I don't know anything about it. I wanted to do this for myself, for my family, on basically my own. And I did. And I continue to do it. Now, it's not easy. I've talked to some other stackers here in the community that have quit drinking and they might be a month in now, 2 months in. We have private conversations. I'm not going to give their names. But you got to have support, right? Mm-hmm. And my family, my wife could have left me high and dry. She could have, and she didn't. She wanted to see me healthy. And I'm getting there. It's not easy. Like I said, every day is still a struggle. I drive by stores. I used to drink and drive every single day of the week. If I was driving on the road, there was a damn good chance that I had a beer or a 6-pack or something with me. And it just, I was never a sipper. If we were at deer camp or up north fishing and my uncle was there and he's pouring martinis, that's 3 or 4 shots of straight vodka and olive in it. That's gone now. And it was never a closet type thing either. I always drank in the open. It's just, I didn't have an off switch. There was no off when it came to it. 6 years ago, August 13th was the day my life changed for the better, I would have to say. Yep. Oh, I held it together pretty good, I think.
All right. So
it's a tough one.
Just from me to you, first of all, thank you. I know that's hard. But secondly, just know that when you share a story like that, like these deeper things, they're hard to share. Sometimes we maybe don't want to, but something like that, you could be helping somebody right now. And I think you know that already, but it's what you're sharing is important.
I didn't expect that. But no, it does. It needs to be shared. And I know that. It's just really tough to talk about when you're talking about, precious metals. This is great. The platform we're trying to build here, it's a great place for it, because there could be people in the comments, and I do apologize to anybody in the comments that this is the type of thing that we're doing, right? This is live on YouTube. It is. We plan on broadcasting these all over the place. We appreciate anybody who's here. And we're talking about that for a different thing. We'll do that another time, but it does need to be talked about, and just know that I have an email address. If you're someone out there who is struggling and you need someone to talk to, I hardly get any sleep as it is. I have no problem keeping everything between myself and whoever the second party is, third party, fourth party, whoever. It ain't worth. I look at a picture on my phone every day, and I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but it's a guy with a shot glass, but at the bottom of the shot glass is a gun, right? And as he's pouring the shot to his mouth, it's the gun's coming to his head. And that's where I'm at. I've never thought about saying I can get away with a drink. It'll be okay, because I'm not a failure. I'm not going to try and fail this thing. So if I take a drink, that you never know where I'll be. That's what's in the back of my mind every day. It's there. It's readily available every day of the week. But if I drink it, I'm in trouble. Big trouble.
That's self-awareness. I mean, obviously something happened to make that click, and a lot of us lack it.
So. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that story, because it was a terrible falling out. It was.
Yeah.
And that's
tell you what,
personal story.
let's lighten the mood a little bit. You were talking earlier about hunting, and I know that whitetail season coming up. That's exciting. Wintertime, you get the bucks with the 8-point or whatever. That's cool stuff, man. But along the lines of what I'm familiar with, tell me a fishtail.
Fishtail. Well, I tell you, me and my brother, this is the most recent. We were up north. It's a little town called Indian River. The highway I-75, everybody should know what I-75 is, goes from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan clear down to Florida. This little town splits 2 lakes, Burt Lake and in the Mullet Lake, and we fish Burt Lake. And I actually did a collaboration video with him. It was a short on YouTube, but I took a silver dollar, American Silver Eagle, drilled a hole in it, attached a swivel, and put on a plastic worm and use that spinning swivel type action as an attractant for walleye fishing. And I did the same thing to a 1964 quarter. I believe that was the year. I have to go back and check. But so I took the precious metals world and his fishing world and combined them and caught a walleye. And it was awesome. There's pictures. There is pictures on Instagram. I probably put them in my community tab here on YouTube too, but it was awesome. That's all I can say.
What's your favorite?
Do a lot of salmon fishing. Salmon over here. They're not like your saltwater salmon, but they're freshwater salmon, and they are delicious. We have to travel to catch them because Lake Huron, which is closest to me, they got, so these ships come through and they dump their ballast, and they could be coming from anywhere. And then all of a sudden we get all this stuff in our water that's making the water clean and eating the bait fish that the salmon and trout would be eating. So they have to move. And that's what they did. Lake Michigan, which is on the west side of the state, has always been, no matter what port you go to, the fish will travel, but has been an amazing fishery for salmon. Where Lake Huron now is just full of lake trout. They just feed off the bottom. You can go, I could take you out to the Lake Huron, drop down a cannonball on the bottom, make a couple passes, and we're going to have fun reeling in these lake trout, but they're just not, people will tell you they're great to eat, but they're just greasy. They're greasy as can be. They're not bad smoke. Yeah, but just a big, you pull that thing out of the water and it's just dripping slime from it, bottom feeders.
Pass.
but salmon, they're all muscle, man, and they put on a good fight. Nothing like that tuna I caught down in Florida. That was a fight of my life. That was a 35-pound blackfin tuna, and that took everything I had to bring in. And that's amazing. That's big. That's big for a blackfin tuna.
What's the biggest one you ever caught? Biggest fish, any species?
Probably that, but the biggest here in Michigan would have been a 26-pound king salmon.
That's big, man. You do musky fishing too, right? You said you do musky.
I don't. My brother does, and he's actually caught some rare sturgeon.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What do you even hook those on? Like a cornball or something?
Just a big like musky bait. It takes a lot to cast all that stuff out and reel it in, cast it out, reel it in. They're I want to say, I guess you use the word prehistoric. I don't know if that's 100% legit, but they're an old species of fish, sturgeon.
Yep. All right.
They got that like armor type shell to them.
They do, man. That's that. Like, you ever seen you said you were in Florida. You ever seen those? They're basically plecostomus, but they're like plated catfish.
Yeah. My son actually watches a fishing show on just this guy, this crazy dude in Florida. He just goes out to the ditches and catches these fish and throws them in his tanks at home and stuff, or not tanks, but just great big aquariums that he has set outside.
Yeah. Well, they're invasive.
Yeah.
So they want you to take them out.
Yeah. I mean, he's always catching these Oscars, and growing up, I always had a fish tank, and it was always fun to have an Oscar, have a Jack Dempsey, have a Pecosmus to keep the tank clean. But then those things got so damn big.
Yep. Yeah, the Oscars fight real good, man. And they're actually not too bad. They taste pretty good.
It was cool to watch them because then you buy these little rosies, bait fish, and you throw them in there for a while, and you know that's feeding time. It is what it is.
How about crazy hobbies? You got any of those? Something that somebody would be like, that's kind of weird, but
stacking silver and gold, is that crazy?
That's crazy.
Nah, I mean, I don't do much as far as collecting or
you work hard, man.
It's
that's
going
one
to
thing
7 days.
One
I
thing
don't even
I've
want to call
noticed
work a
about
hobby.
No, it's so it's not like work like your job. It's that you're constantly doing something. Something
I
I
have
almost,
to, and that's
yeah.
Go ahead. But it's
No,
part of the alcoholism. It's I have to stay busy. I have to. Whether it's helping my son with this, a lot of people don't like it, but these prime energy, or not energy, but these hydration, he wants to collect the bottles. So I'm going to help him. And there's been a lot of help from this just stacking community. I mean, one guy sent me these, and you can only get these in LA. It's a Dodgers label. I can't get this in Michigan unless I go on eBay and spend $20 for a bottle.
That's wild.
So there's been a lot of help out there helping with that.
Great marketing scheme right there. I'll tell you what.
Dude, it's the fastest growing sports hydration drink in history. And the only reason that is because when Gatorade was introduced, the world wasn't like it is today, where we have what we can do right now with the internet and all this technology. And you put that with being already semi-famous, and you have a drink that explodes that costs 3 to 5 cents to make, and people are paying $2 to $4 a bottle.
You're right. It's crazy, man.
All right. Yeah, hobbies. I like to work on our property we have. We bought 25 acres that connects to our house, and there's always something to be done.
What's your all right. If you could work on any project on your property or in general with no restriction on time or money, what would you work on? Give me like 2.
I got a lot of down trees that I would love to clean the woods up. And I wouldn't even sell the wood. I would just put it to the road and somebody would pick it up, because I don't burn firewood here for heat. And we have these wild raspberry bushes that just make amazing berries, but they're just so overgrown. And I've just never had enough physical time to tend it. And it just seems like the seasons come and go so fast anymore. Come and go. And I would really love how to learn to tend to that stuff so that they could flourish and we could utilize more of it than what we actually do. Yeah. And it's all wild.
Yeah.
I mean, they're delicious.
I love raspberry, man. My mom has a huge patch in her backyard that actually I think I planted when I was younger. They're good for attracting deer. So I don't know if you've noticed that, but the deer love them.
There's deer everywhere. I've planted so much clover, and we have apple trees here that I was cutting grass last week, and I stopped at this apple tree because I noticed it was loaded, but they're just tiny. They're just small. I'm like, I'm going to try this thing. The deer are eating them. So I grab one off, wipe it off. And I'm telling you, I can only just bite my top 2 teeth in it, or else I'd eat the whole apple.
Right.
And it was the sweetest, juiciest apple I've ever tasted in a really long time. And I said, look, I've never even tried one before. Never even tried one or even thought about trying one, because they didn't look like they were going to be tasty apples. Yeah, they're just small. And the tree this year is just full of them. Couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
So I grabbed a couple more and put them on my lawnmower and just kept doing what I was doing.
Right on, man.
It's a lot of grass to cut.
So you're taking care of your yard. That's good, man. So
yeah, dude.
Let's say where you're at right now. What principles do you apply to your life, or what do you tell yourself every day to keep you going?
It's for them. I have a picture in my bathroom, and it's of my kids and wife. And everybody has those mornings where they don't want to get up. They don't want to go to work. They just want to go back to bed, right? If you go back to bed, nothing's going to get done. You're not going to pay your bills. You're not going to get ahead in life. You know, we're the only species on this planet. Now listen to this. We're the only species on this planet that has to pay to be here. We have to pay to live on this planet. The only species that has to do that. And we live most of our lives scratching and trying, you know, to get to a point where we can say, you know, we finally made it. The bills are caught up. We can take the family out to dinner. My motivation, my goal is my family, because someone's got to enjoy it. If it ain't me, if it ain't the wife, the kids, I think you and I talked about this before. We want to give our kids a better life than we had. We did talk about this before.
Yep.
But I'd never had it that bad.
Right.
You know, my parents and their parents, they lived through some shit, man. And we haven't had it that bad. What did we have? The Y2K scare where we thought computers were going to crash.
Yeah, it was nothing.
There might be people listening here that weren't even alive then, you know?
Yeah.
I looked at two kids I was working with the other day and I said, where were you guys when the world ended? 9/11, right? They weren't even born yet, dude. They weren't even born yet. They're 20 years old.
That's crazy.
Hard work, dedication. Be a man your daughters want to marry. Show them the man your daughters want to marry, and show your son the man he should be when he grows up. That's my life.
That's deep. I love that, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be a point when you can take a breath and just kind of relish what you've accomplished? I'm
hoping in 13 years.
What's that special?
Unless that Powerball hits, then it'll be sooner. That's my 30 years working for the IBW Local 17. And
okay.
That's the point in time I can start making decisions of where we're at in the world and what do we need to live off financially? Do I need to? So I'm 40. That puts me at 53. That's kind of a little bit early to retire, right? But that's my 30 years.
All right.
I could take my federal driver's license and go do something else and go work part-time somewhere else. But that's when I'm done. I just want to be done. And I say that now, but as busy as I am, I don't think I could just be done. So realistically, it's probably 15, 16 years of still doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But who knows? Time will tell.
Right on, man. So what aspects of your life do you kind of look back on and reflect and maybe give you the most satisfaction?
Dude, I think about youth baseball a lot. Like I was a really good baseball pitcher in high school. I was a freshman. They moved me up to varsity. I played varsity for 4 years for the high school. I still play softball today. It's what they call a beer league. It's a mixed league, guys and girls, but I enjoy it. It's just something I've always enjoyed. I enjoy watching my son and daughters play whatever league they're in. If it's 12U, if it's T-ball, if it's 7, 8U, whatever it is. And having an eye or knowing the sport of baseball, you can see these younger kids that are going to continue to play the sport and going to be good 10 years from now, right? That are going to help this school's team win some baseball games, God willing, right? I've always been a fan of baseball. That's
awesome, man.
I actually signed one. I have one somewhere. I actually signed a baseball when I was in high school, and it's got it. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. So I signed this baseball in high school, and I said, this is going to be worth some money one day. It's not yet, but I still have it.
That looks like that's been in a Rottweiler's mouth, man.
It has.
Like from the man lot.
That's an old baseball. But
That's awesome,
I signed that in high school.
That's cool, man. Well, it's clearly back then you had a vision. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So talking back to that, you said when you were 17, you signed that.
No, right? I graduated at 17, so I was probably 15. Probably 15.
Great. So take that 15-year-old. If you could have a word with him, what would you tell him? What advice might you give him?
Put the beer back. I had, if they're listening, I had easy access to alcohol then, and they may have known it at the time. They may not have known it, but where do you think I got the alcohol?
All right.
I think if not that college is a good thing, but it's also not a bad thing. I mean, some people are meant for it, some people aren't. I always thought that I was never gonna just go to college, right? I was an iron worker, but I got two brothers that are iron workers, build skyscrapers and stuff. I did that for 2 years out of high school. I didn't like being laid off. Even back then, I did not like being laid off. Even though I was driving from Saginaw, Michigan to Ann Arbor, Michigan every day to go work at the University of Michigan and help build buildings there. The wintertime you're laid off, and I didn't dig it. I just didn't like it. I had nothing to do. Even I was 17, 18, 19, 18, 19, 20 years old, that I didn't like it. And not blaming anybody but myself. I think if I would have tried a little harder at that age, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I might not be doing what I'm doing right now. Maybe I'm doing something different, but that's the path I chose, and here we are.
So I don't know if you've seen this on social media. Every time I scroll through one of them, I end up seeing one of these videos where the wife asks her husband, or girl asks her boyfriend this question. It's a man question, and she asks him, "How often do you think about the Roman Empire?" So if I were to ask you that, does that ever cross your mind? Never, right? So that's funny because I was like, not that often, but there's some people that think about it 24/7. Not that has anything to do with anything.
Sure,
it's just kind of like it's just kind of like an interesting statement that there are people who kind of tend down a similar path. I don't even know why that popped into my head to talk about, but it's just interesting.
No, never.
Right. Never, so I do have a question, like kind of off the wall for you. Let's say you're on an airplane, right? And
do my best.
Okay, you're on an airplane, you're flying over the ocean, and you end up, plane goes down. You're the only survivor. You're out in the middle of this stranded, like in this island, just like a big old island on the middle of the sea. What 3 things do you wish that you would have with you? Not people, but things. What things would you wish that you had with you?
A radio, meaning a AM FM radio, not any type of communication device, because most likely if I had it, it wouldn't work, and I would spend too much time trying to figure it out, and then it wouldn't work. So I would like a radio to listen to something.
All right.
That's a good question. Things I would like. There's obvious things. I would love to have an endless supply of food. I would love to have fresh drinking water. So these are things that I would probably have to search out and find, obviously. But are you saying that, okay, you're stuck there, you're never making it back, these are the 3 things you get while you're here?
Yeah, man. You got the clothes on your back, and you have no idea when someone's coming to rescue you. Like Tom Hanks.
I would have to make sure, if I had my wallet, I would still have the picture of my family, and there'd be no way to contact them, but at least I would have something to look forward to getting back to if I was ever found. I would never forget them, what they look like. I could always have that right here. So definitely a radio to keep myself sane, and a
solar radio, right?
Maybe a nice pair of sandals.
All right, that's good, man. I like it, man. Well, this is good, man. I like getting to know you. I gotta say, as much as I thought I knew you before, there's layers to you. You're like an onion. You know, you start peeling the layers, and you're making.
And I feel
man.
there's layers. There's layers to everybody. There's,
right.
I mean, that's just the way we're built. We're an endless supply of information if we want to be, and we have it at the palm of our hands. It's just how we decide to use it. Do we use it for good? Do we use it for evil? Do we use it to be a douchebag? Do we use it to be a nice guy? Do we use it to help people? You know?
Yeah, man. So thank you for that. Thank you for your responses. I think I got a lot out of you, man. That's good.
That was a first for me. I never really, I mean, somebody who asks you stuff like that, like here doing this, it's completely different than in your own world, you know?
Right.
We live in two different worlds.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing.
It's a good chat. I appreciate it.
For sure. So for the listeners, again, you know, guys, connect with us on any social media platform, either through my page, Silver Husky, or PaulyBuck's page, Instagram, Facebook, you know, TikTok. Pauly's trying to grow his TikTok, so get on that.
No, he's not. He's not trying to grow it. He's trying to figure out why this damn thing isn't growing. But on top of all that, we did start a YouTube channel, and it's basically a clip show. So if you did miss some of this, we're going to put some of our what we think to be great clips for the previous show. Eventually do some more stuff with it. But for now, if you're not subscribed to that one, get over there, subscribe to the Crucible Live YouTube page. I don't know if I left it in the description or not. We'd have to double check that. But yeah, you'll find us there. Definitely get signed up and get yourself entered to stay in touch with us via the website, via your email, and to win that piece right there. We know it's a lot. You know, it's not much. Just get over there, get signed up, check out the website, leave us some feedback. There's a spot to leave feedback. What you think? What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? Let us hear it.
What do you guys want to see? Because we have the next several shows planned out, but there's always things that you guys might want to hear. And it might not be like, you know, interview format like this. Maybe it's you just want to hear us talk about something totally different. And if it's in alignment with what we're looking to do,
you know, and yeah. And we do want to talk some about precious metals, but as we've said from the very first show, the pilot, that it can get boring talking about precious metals. Let's take off some of them layers of onions. Let's talk about some real world stuff and dig into it, man. Dig into it. I'm still interested about that damn rat
tours.
What? Yeah, rat tours in New York. Like I want to know if someone out there's listening, contact us and let us know what that's all about. If you took that tour, do that. Do me that favor, email us and let us know how that worked.
If you've done the rat tour, or if you're the guy who holds the rat tours, contact us and we'll bring you on the show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Make a clip out of that clip right there and we'll post that on his TikTok. He'll definitely see it.
Heck yeah, man.
I'll tag his ass.
All right, Pauly. This was awesome, man. I think we're up on time, and I know you got to catch a game, so let's get on that. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks. There you go. There's this team. So that was the last thing I was going to ask you is what's your team?
all Detroit, man, except when it comes to, look, my house is divided. I'm a Michigan fan. Some of my family are Michigan State fans. I root for them both when they're playing separately, but come game day and it's Michigan versus Michigan State, go blue.
There you go. All right, guys. I hope you all have a great night. Peace out. Ooh.